The spotlight blinds, the crowds roar, but when the music fades, who are stray kids when they are just men seeking love? Welcome to a deep dive investigation that transcends the stage. We are unlocking the ultimate romantic timeline, the race to the altar in their 30 seconds. We have scoured through years of interviews, psychological cues, and hidden personality traits to predict the unpredictable. Who is the secret traditionalist dreaming of a quiet domestic life? Who is the wild card waiting for a destiny that defies logic? And who is the member explicitly stating they want to wait? From the hopeless romantics to the career-obsessed visionaries, this ranking exposes the raw, human side of your favorite idols. Are you ready to face the truth about their future weddings? Buckle up, stay, because this prediction is about to get emotional. Number 8. Han. We are kicking off this countdown with the member who presents the biggest romantic paradox in Stray Kids, a man whose heart is an open book in his lyrics but a fortress in real life. Placing him at the 8th spot for a wedding in his 30 seconds because, frankly, and he is already married to his art. Han Ji-sung, the ace of K-pop, the lyrical prodigy of 3 Racha, and the emotional core of the group, represents the classic archetype of the tortured genius who might find the domestic realities of marriage to be a distraction from his chaotic, beautiful creative process until much later in life, perhaps well into his late 30 seconds or 40 seconds. To understand why Han is ranked here, we have to dissect the psychological duality of the man who wrote Alien and Volcano. On the surface, he is the mood maker, the loud quokka who makes everyone laugh, but deep down, and this is backed by countless vlogs, interviews, and member testimonies, Han is an extreme introvert who recharges in absolute solitude. Think back to his One Kid's Room episodes or his vlogs, where he admits that after a schedule, he doesn't just want to go home, he needs to retreat into his bedroom, draw the curtains, and exist in a bubble of anime, cheesecake, and silence. This level of independence and the sheer necessity for me time is a massive hurdle for early marriage. In his 30 seconds, while others might be seeking the stability of a wife and children, Han will likely still be in the thick of his artistic prime, chasing the next melody that haunts him at 3 a.m. His brain doesn't shut off. We are talking about a guy who wrote the entirety of a song in the time it took to take a shower. For a partner, this is incredibly romantic in theory but challenging in practice. Loving Han means loving his absence when he is mentally drifting in his own universe. Furthermore, let's look at his romantic philosophy found in his SKZ record and SKZ player tracks. Songs like Close, Wish You Back, and Miserable paint a picture of love that is intense, often unrequited, or filled with longing and regret rather than stability. He romanticizes the feeling of love, the heartbreak, and the yearning, which suggests he feeds his creativity through emotional turbulence rather than the calm, steady waters of matrimony. There is a strong Peter Pan energy to Han, not in maturity, because he is incredibly wise, but in his lifestyle. He cherishes his freedom. Remember the time he lived in Malaysia? That experience gave him a unique, slightly isolated worldview where he learned to rely on himself. He came back to Korea, fought for his dream, and nearly didn't make the debut lineup, a trauma that forged a bond with the members that currently supersedes any potential romantic partner. Lee No, his soulmate, fulfills so much of his emotional need for companionship that the urgency for a wife seems low. We also have to consider the laziness factor, and we say this with love. Han has famously joked about staying in bed all day. A marriage requires constant compromise, chore sharing, and social energy, things that Han currently budgets strictly for his career and his members. In his 30 seconds, Han will likely be the cool, mysterious bachelor uncle who writes chart-topping love songs about a girl he met once at a coffee shop 3 years ago, rather than the guy changing diapers. He is the type to wait for a connection that is telepathic, a partner who understands that when he is staring at the wall for 4 hours, he is actually working, and that kind of understanding takes a lifetime to find. He isn't rushing. He is observing, feeling, and turning it all into rap verses. So, while his heart is massive and his capacity for love is infinite, the structure of marriage feels too confining for a spirit that identifies as an alien on this earth. He will marry, absolutely, but it will be on his own timeline, likely after he has said everything he needs to say through his music, making him our number 8. Number 7. Hyunjin. If Han is married to the music, then the man occupying our seventh spot is engaged to the canvas, having an affair with the dance floor, and is in a committed relationship with his own relentless pursuit of perfection, making the prospect of a traditional marriage in his early 30s seem like a distant watercolor blur compared to the vibrant oil painting of his career. We are talking about Hyunjin, the visual center who redefined what it means to be beautiful in K-pop, but beneath that breathtaking exterior lies a complex, sensitive soul that pushes him down this list not because he lacks love, but because he views love through the lens of high art, and real life rarely matches the masterpiece he has in his head. To understand why Hyunjin is likely to wait, we have to treat him not just as an idol, but as the artist he has fought so hard to become. Remember his trainee days? This is a man who was told he was just a pretty face, a comment that ignited a fire so fierce he practiced until his body gave out, transforming himself into one of the generation's most distinct dancers. This obsessive nature is the key to his romantic timeline. Hyunjin doesn't do things halfway. When he gets into painting, he doesn't just doodle, he buys professional easels, studies techniques, and spends hours lost in the fumes of turpentine and emotion, creating works that are raw and introspective. A partner in his 30s would need to compete with this consuming passion. Imagine dating Hyunjin. You aren't just dating a man, you are dating a mood, an atmosphere. He requires immense amounts of emotional space to process his feelings, which are known to be volatile and deep. He is the drama llama for a reason. He feels everything at 100% capacity. His solo tracks like Ice Cream or Love Untold reveal a perspective on love that is somewhat unrequited, hesitant, and deeply guarded. He sings about the fear of hurting others, or being cold despite wanting to be sweet, indicating a hesitation to let people truly in. Marriage requires letting down those walls completely, exposing the messy, unpolished version of himself that he works so hard to refine. Furthermore, Hyunjin cherishes his aesthetic solitude. Look at his vlogs. He finds peace in museums, in quiet walks, in the visual beauty of the world. A domestic life with crying babies and messy living rooms in his early 30s clashes with the meticulously curated artistic lifestyle he is currently building. He is searching for a muse, not just a wife. He needs a partner who is likely as artistic and deep as he is, someone who understands that when he is silent, he isn't ignoring them, he is observing the light hitting the table. Finding a soulmate who matches that specific vibration is a needle in a haystack situation. Also, consider his relationship with Kakami. The way he doted on his late dog and now his current pets shows a nurturing side, yes, but it also shows where his emotional bandwidth currently goes to safe, unconditional bonds. The pressure on Hyunjin as the prince of stray kids is astronomical. The world watches his every move, his hair length, his fashion choices. His 30s will likely be the decade where he solidifies his legacy as a global fashion icon and artist, traveling to Paris, Milan, and New York, living a fast-paced, glamorous, yet internally solitary life. He is the type to have a whirlwind romance that ends in heartbreak and inspires a best-selling album before he actually settles down. He wants a love that is cinematic, a romance that feels like a scene from The Notebook, and he won't settle for a mundane convenience marriage. He is a romantic idealist, and idealists often wait the longest because reality keeps disappointing them. There is also a distinct sense of waiting for destiny with Hyunjin. He isn't the type to go on blind dates or look for a partner actively. He expects fate to drop someone in front of him while he is sketching in a park in Paris. Until that movie magic moment happens, Hyunjin will remain happily married to his passions, refining his art, perfecting his dance, and living in a beautiful, dramatic world of his own making, landing him firmly at number 7. Number 6. IN. If you thought the older members would be the first to rush down the aisle, think again, because sitting comfortably at number 6 is the group's beloved maknae, Yang Jeonjin, a man whose deceivingly cute, baby-bred exterior hides the heart of a stoic, ambitious, and hyper-independent wolf who is far more likely to marry his reflection in a fashion magazine than a spouse in his early 30s. While the world coos over his dimples, true, stay know that N is actually one of the most mature, level-headed, and notoriously savage members of Stray Kids, possessing a psychological profile that screams Bachelor of the Year rather than Young Groom. Why is he waiting? Let's dissect the maknae on top philosophy. Unlike the Hyungs who constantly seek connection, looking at you, Bang Chan, N has spent his entire young adult life being smothered by the affection of 7 older brothers. He has been raised in a chaotic environment of constant noise, skinship, and adoration, which has seemingly triggered a reaction where he intensely craves and values his solitude. We have watched him evolve from the brace-faced teenager trembling on the survival show where he faced the traumatic threat of elimination that forged a steel-trap resolve in his gut to a high-fashion icon gracing the front rows of Alexander McQueen in Paris. This trajectory is crucial. Hyunjin is currently in his glow-up era, finally shedding the child image to be recognized as a dangerous, sexy, and competent adult artist. He is obsessed with self-improvement, from his vocal lessons to his relentless gym routine. Have you seen those arms lately? And his OOTD posts on Instagram prove he is meticulously curating his individual brand. A man this focused on building his own identity separate from the cute youngest label is not going to interrupt that momentum with a wedding. He is enjoying the fruits of his labor too much. Let's talk about his legendary independence. IN is the king of hanbap, eating alone, and han shopping. While other idols dread being alone, IN vlogs himself happily eating KBBQ solo, shopping for hours without needing a second opinion, and wandering the streets of foreign cities with just his thoughts. This is a massive telltale sign for his romantic future. He does not need someone to complete him, he is already complete. A partner for IN wouldn't be a crutch. They would have to be an asset, an equal, and someone who understands that he prioritizes his me time above all else. He isn't the type to text 24/7 or be clingy. In fact, he might be the hardest member to date because his standards are likely sky-high and grounded in terrifying realism. He's from Busan, often associated with a more traditional, blunt masculinity, and he has shown flashes of being quite conservative and principled. He's not going to fall for a fleeting fling. He approaches life with a strategic mindset. Just look at how he manipulates the older members. He knows exactly what he's doing. Marriage, to IN, will likely be a serious, calculated decision made only when he has achieved absolute financial and career stability on his own terms. He wants to be the provider, the rock, and the top in every sense of the word, and he knows that takes time. Furthermore, consider the dynamic of his current life. He is spoiled, in a good way, by the members. Any future spouse has the impossible task of loving him more than Bang Chan or Hyunjin does. Good luck with that. The bar is set in the stratosphere. In his 30 seconds, N will likely be entering his prime solo career, perhaps diving into acting or ballad singing, finally flexing the skills he's been honing in the shadows. He will be the cool, rich, fashion-forward boyfriend who takes you to expensive dinners but goes home to his own apartment because he needs his sleep. He is the definition of slow burn. He isn't rushing to grow up in the romantic sense because he was forced to grow up so fast in the professional sense. He missed out on a normal school life, normal teenage dating, and normal mistakes. His 30 seconds might be his time to explore that freedom casually without the legal binding of marriage. He is the member who will shock everyone by staying single the longest, simply because he is having too much fun being the main character of his own life. The boy who smiled through the pain of the survival show is now a man who knows his worth, and he won't discount it for a quick settlement. IN is playing the long game, folks, and that is why he is staying put at number 6, making us wait just like he intends to. Number 5. Bang Chan. We are crossing the halfway mark of our investigation, entering the territory of members who desperately want love, but find themselves battling the massive, towering walls of their own making. And standing firmly at the gates of number 5 is none other than the captain himself, Christopher Bang, known to the world as Bang Chan. Placing Chan here is a controversial move because, on paper, he is the ultimate husband material archetype that ruins all other men for stay. He is patient, incredibly empathetic, cooks, drives, produces music, speaks 2 languages fluently, and has a back wide enough to carry the burdens of the entire K-pop industry. So, why is he only at number 5? Why isn't he rushing to the altar? The answer lies in the tragic, beautiful paradox of his existence. Bang Chan is so busy being a dad to 7 unruly younger brothers and millions of fans that he has absolutely no room left to be a husband to a spouse. To understand this, we have to go back to the very beginning, to the 7 years of trainee hell he endured. This period rewired his brain. It taught him that patience isn't just a virtue, it's a survival mechanism. He watched friends debut and leave. He watched the seasons change from the basement of JYP, and he learned to suppress his own immediate desires for a greater, distant goal. This delayed gratification is the blueprint of his romantic life. He is not a man who acts on impulse. He is a man who waits, calculates, and ensures that when he finally makes a move, it is permanent. He isn't dating for fun, he is dating for keeps, and he knows that currently, he cannot offer 100% of himself to a partner, and Christopher Bang does not do anything less than 100%. Look at his lifestyle during his 20 seconds. The man is a functional insomniac. He lives in the studio. We have seen the endless Chan's Room episodes broadcasting late into the night, dark circles under his eyes, eating convenience store food because he forgot to have dinner. He has explicitly stated that he sacrifices his sleep so that the members can sleep soundly. This is a level of martyrdom that is heroic for an idol but catastrophic for a boyfriend. A marriage requires presence. It requires waking up next to someone, not crashing into bed at 6 a.m. smelling of studio coffee and stress. Chan knows this. He is hyper-aware of his own limitations. He has likely convinced himself that bringing a woman into his chaotic, work-obsessed vortex would be selfish. He is the type to protect his future wife by not meeting her until he is ready to retire from the front lines. Furthermore, consider the emotional load he carries. He is the emotional trash can for the group, absorbing their worries, their fights, their anxieties. By the time he is done managing the mental health of stray kids, his emotional battery is depleted. He recharges by zoning out or working more. A wife in his 30 seconds would need to be someone extraordinary, someone who doesn't need him to lead, but someone who can force him to sit down and be the little spoon for once. He needs a caretaker, a sanctuary, not another responsibility. The wolf persona is also a factor. Wolves are pack animals, fiercely loyal to their group. Chan's loyalty to stray kids is currently impenetrable. He has often joked about marrying Stay, but there is a grain of truth there. His intimacy needs are currently met by the parasocial adoration of millions and the brotherhood of his members. He doesn't feel the lack of love that drives some people to seek marriage. However, why is he likely to marry in his 30 seconds specifically? Because the dam will eventually break. The Australian boy in him, the one who grew up with barbecues, open spaces, and a loving, tight-knit family. Shout out to Hannah and Lucas. A. Deeply craves that domestic normalcy. He wants the Sunday roasts, the golden retriever running in the yard, the kids playing rugby. He isn't Han or Hyunjin, who might be happy with just art. Chan needs a legacy of blood and love. Once Stray Kids hits their veteran era, once the frantic pace of world tours slows down, the human Christopher will finally emerge from the armor of idol Bang Chan. The moment he feels he has successfully guided his kids to safety, he will pivot with intense focus to building his own private empire. His 30 seconds will be the decade of Chan the man, not Chan the leader. He will be the husband who is obsessively attentive, the type to write a symphony for his anniversary and build the crib with his bare hands. But until that mission is accomplished, until the Stray Kids world domination checklist is fully ticked, he is keeping his heart in a safe, locked box, waiting for the right time to unleash the ocean of love he has been holding back. He is the middle ground of this list, the bridge between the dreamers and the realists, waiting not because he doesn't want it, but because he takes the vow, for better or for worse, so seriously that he won't say it until he can guarantee the better. It is a selfless delay, a romantic procrastination born of responsibility, and that is why our fearless leader anchors the list at number 5. Number 4. Seungmin. We have arrived at the specific entry that the title warned you about, the member who occupies the dead center of our prediction list, not because he lacks the desire, but because he has the most impenetrable, steel-reinforced mental timeline of the entire group. Standing proudly at number 4 is Kim Seungmin, the main vocalist who approaches his life with the precision of a surgeon and the patience of a sniper. While other members act on instinct or emotion, Seungmin operates on a meticulously drafted schedule, and let me tell you, marriage is currently penciled in for a distant future slot, and number H, iteption sof and 70n.com. likely after conquer the global pop industry and become the best vocalist in Korea. To understand why Seungmin is the one who wants to wait, you have to dissect his terrifyingly impressive basic siwa. Model student, psyche. This is a man who kept a training log every single day for years. He is a creature of habit, discipline, and routine. He wakes up, he takes his vitamins, he brushes his teeth a specific way, and he practices singing until his throat bleeds. There is no room for the chaos of dating in that regimented existence. A romantic relationship is inherently unpredictable. It involves emotions, spontaneous dates, and drama variables that Kim Seungmin, the human algorithm, unlikely views as inefficiencies during his prime career years. He treats being an idol not just as a dream, but as a high-level corporate profession. He is the most salaryman-coded member of Stray Kids, the one who clocks in and clocks out with absolute professionalism. This mindset suggests that he views his 20 seconds and early 30 seconds as the accumulation phase of his life. He is building his assets, his reputation, and his skill set. He is not going to jeopardize his vocal condition by staying up all night fighting with a girlfriend. He protects his throat like a national treasure. Have you noticed how he is always the one urging the members to stay focused? That energy translates directly to his love life. Focus first, feelings later. However, the reason he ranks this high at number 4 and not lower with Han or Hyunjin is because Seungmin radiates the most intense, stable, husband energy of the group. The fans know it. The divorce with Seungmin memes exist precisely because he feels so much like a real, tangible husband, the kind who nags you to clean up, drives you to the airport 3 hours early, and remembers your grandmother's birthday. He is grounded. He has a normalcy about him that is rare in K-pop. He played baseball, he went to a normal high school, he has normal friends. This background means that when he does decide to marry, he will do it right. He is a traditionalist at heart. He likely wants the classic trajectory, a stable home, a wife, maybe 2 kids who play baseball, and a dog that isn't as crazy as the fictional ones he draws. But here is the catch. Seungmin is stubborn. His jutdae, principles, might be quieter than Changbin's, but they are immovable. If he decides he isn't marrying until he is 35, nobody, not his parents, not his members, not Dispatch, will change his mind. He is waiting for the moment he feels he has completed his duty to Stray Kids. He carries the burden of the main vocal heavily. He feels responsible for the group's sonic identity. Until he feels he has reached a level of vocal perfection where he can relax, he won't split his focus. Also, consider his savage streak. Seungmin is critical. He observes everything. Finding a partner who meets his standards, someone who is clean, organized, respectful, and can handle his dry, teasing wit without crying is a tall order. He isn't looking for a trophy wife. He is looking for a partner who can catch his verbal curveballs. He wants a relationship that makes sense, logically and emotionally. This search for a sensible love takes time. He isn't the type to fall in love at first sight. He is the type to fall in love after analyzing someone's behavior over 6 months. So, we place him at number 4 because the inevitability of his marriage is high. He is built for domestic life, but the waiting period is the longest among the likely candidates. He is the tortoise in this race, moving slowly, steadily, ignoring the distractions, with his eyes fixed on a finish line that only he can see. When Seungmin finally gets married in his mid to late 30 seconds, it won't be a scandalous affair. It will be a perfectly organized, classy event that was planned 2 years in advance, proving that good things and the best husbands really do come to those who wait. Number 3. Changbin. If there is one member of Stray Kids who was born to be a husband, a father, and the chaotic yet lovable head of a bustling household, it is the man who proudly occupies our 3rd spot, the darker-than-black rapper who is actually a neon pink ball of fluff on the inside, Seo Changbin. Why is he capturing the bronze medal for a wedding in his 30 seconds? Because Changbin is the embodiment of ready-made husband material wrapped in designer muscle tees. While members like Han or Hyunjin might get lost in their abstract worlds, Changbin is grounded in a reality that is dripping with emotional intelligence and, let's be honest, extreme opulence. To understand his high ranking, we must first address the elephant in the room, or rather, the chandelier in the house. The lore of Rich Kid Changbin isn't just a meme, it's a lifestyle indicator. Coming from a wealthy background in Gimpo, Changbin has grown up seeing what stability looks like. He isn't scrambling for survival, he is building a legacy. This financial comfort gives him a massive head start in the marriage market. He doesn't need to wait until he saves up for a house. He could probably buy the neighborhood tomorrow if he wanted to, but money is just the surface. The real reason Changbin will marry relatively early in his 30s is his insatiable, unhidden need for love. He is the Agio king of the group, the man who physically cannot function without skinship. Look at how he treats the members. He is constantly hugging, kissing, and clinging to them. He thrives on connection. A man who demands that much physical and emotional intimacy is not suited for the lonely bachelor life. He needs a permanent recipient for his overflow of love. He is the type of guy who needs a wife to come home to, someone to baby him after he's spent all day being the tough main rapper. The contrast is what makes him so eligible. On stage, he is the spitting fire monster of 3 Racha, but at home, he is Jutdae, Principals, who probably wants to be the little spoon. Speaking of Jutdae, this is his secret weapon. Changbin is decisive. Unlike the overthinkers in the group, when Changbin decides he likes something, whether it's a food menu or a person, he commits 100%. He has high self-esteem and knows his worth. If he meets the right woman in his early 30s, he won't hesitate or wait for the right time like Seungmin. He will trust his gut, buy the biggest diamond ring Seoul has ever seen, and propose. He has a very traditional, family-oriented aura about him. You can see it in how he interacts with his own family and how he treats the younger members like a stern but loving older brother. He values the hierarchy and warmth of a family unit. Furthermore, Changbin is arguably the most emotionally intelligent member of Stray Kids. He is the mediator, the one who resolves conflicts, the one who listens. This is the golden ticket for a successful marriage. He knows how to communicate. He won't bottle things up. He will talk it out, probably loudly and with lots of hand gestures, but he will resolve it. He is a provider in the truest sense, not just financially, but emotionally. He wants to take care of people. He wants to feed you. Literally, he will force feed you protein. He wants to buy you things. He wants to show you off. His love language is gift-giving and acts of service on steroids. Imagine a husband who writes a Billboard charting rap song about how much he loves your cooking that is Seo Changbin. His 30 seconds will likely be a transition from idol Changbin to power couple Changbin. He isn't the type to hide his happiness. Once he marries, he will likely be the member posting wife appreciation photos on Instagram, unbothered by the haters, because his Jutdae is stronger than any internet comment. He wants the loud, happy house with 3 kids running around, a gym in the basement, and Sunday dinners that look like royal banquets. He has too much love to give to keep it contained to just the members forever. The members themselves often joke about him being the most normal in terms of social desires. He likes nice things, good food, and good company. He is a social creature who hates being alone. The silence of an empty apartment is Changbin's kryptonite. Therefore, as soon as the group activities allow for a sliver of personal time in his 30 seconds, Changbin is going to fill that void with a family. He is the safe bet of the group, the one who guarantees a happy, loud, well-fed, and incredibly affectionate marriage. He's taking the bronze because while he has the means and the desire, there are still 2 members whose dreams of family border on obsession, but make no mistake, Mrs. Seo is coming, and she is going to be the luckiest woman alive. Number 2. Lee No. We have reached the silver medalist, the runner-up in our race to the altar. And if number 3 was the loud, passionate lover, number 2 is the silent, stoic provider who has been quietly auditioning for the role of perfect husband in every single vlog he has ever filmed. Standing tall at number 2 is the enigma, the dancing statue, the father of 3 cats, Lee Minho, known to the world as Lee No. Placing him this high might surprise the casual viewer who sees him as the scary member who threatens to fry his teammates in an air fryer. But the true stay knows the reality. Lee No is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most domestically competent, mature, and practically ready man in Stray Kids. While others are still figuring out how to do laundry or waking up at 3 p.m., Lee No is living a life of disciplined adulthood that screams marriage material. Why is he likely to marry in his 30 seconds? Because he has already built the infrastructure for a family life, he just needs the partner to move in. Let's break down the evidence, starting with the most obvious, Lee No's kitchen. This isn't just a hobby, it is a love language. In a marriage, romance fades, looks fade, but hunger is eternal. Lee No doesn't just cook, he crafts. He makes beef Wellington for fun. He cures his own meats. He understands the intricate chemistry of flavor. A man who wakes up early to sous vide a steak for his members is a man who finds joy in nurturing others through sustenance. In his 30 seconds, this trait will transition from feeding hungry idols to feeding a wife and children. Imagine a morning in the Lee household. You don't wake up to an alarm. You wake up to the smell of freshly brewed coffee and a gourmet breakfast that he prepared because he couldn't sleep. He expresses affection through acts of service. He isn't the type to write a cheesy poem, unless it is a satirical one about his members, but he is the type to notice your car creates a weird noise and fix it before you even ask. That is the kind of reliable stability that defines a long-lasting marriage. We must also talk about the cat dad factor. Suni, Doonji, and Dory are not just pets, they are his children. The way he talks about them, the way he spends his earnings on their premium treats and vet bills, and the gentle, cooing voice he uses with them, which is totally different from his normal voice, reveals a deep-seated paternal instinct. He understands responsibility. He understands that caring for another living being requires patience, money, and sacrifice. He is already practicing fatherhood every single day. A man who can love a cat, a creature that is often aloof and independent, knows how to love unconditionally without demanding constant validation in return. This makes him perfectly suited for the ups and downs of married life. Furthermore, let's analyze his desire for a quiet life. Unlike the fame-hungry ambition that drives many idols, Lee No has always emitted an aura of someone who treats idol life as a job, not his entire identity. He cherishes his privacy. He loves camping, fishing, and walking in nature. His vlogs often feature him alone, enjoying the silence of the woods, cooking over a campfire. This screams suburban dad energy. He wants a sanctuary. He likely dreams of a house slightly outside of Seoul, maybe with a garden for the cats and a customized kitchen, where he can retreat from the public eye. Marriage fits perfectly into this vision. He isn't looking for a partner to walk red carpets with. He is looking for a partner to share that silence with. He wants someone who can sit by the fire with him, eating grilled pork belly without needing to say a word. His 30 seconds will be the era where he starts to prioritize this private happiness over the public grind. He has worked since he was a backup dancer for BTS, grinding his way up from the bottom with grit and sweat. He knows the value of hard work, but he also seems to know when enough is enough. He is the member most likely to have a secret wedding. We might not even know he is dating until he drops a photo of a ring or a baby shoe on Bubble with the caption "Update." He values the sanctity of his a personal life too much to turn it into a spectacle. This decisiveness is key. Lee No is scary because he is honest and direct. He doesn't play mind games. If he finds a woman he loves, he won't waste years in a will we, won't we situation. He will look at her, decide, "You are mine," and that will be it. He has a very traditional masculine energy when it comes to protection. He watches over the members like a hawk, counting heads at airports, ensuring everyone is safe. He is the shepherd of the group. A wife would feel undeniably safe with him. He is the guy who checks the locks at night, who carries the heavy bags, who handles the taxes and the scary bugs. He is the ultimate partner for navigating the difficulties of adult life because he doesn't panic, he just solves the problem, or puts it in an air fryer. His humor, while bizarre, is also a sign of high intelligence and a coping mechanism for stress. He needs a partner who is strong, someone who can banter with him, someone who isn't intimidated by his sharp eyes but sees the soft, squishy heart underneath. The tsundere lover is often the most loyal because once you break through that ice, the water underneath is warm and deep. Lee No is at number 2 because he is practically a husband already in every way that counts: skill set, mentality, and desire for stability. He is just waiting for the contract of his 20 seconds to expire so he can sign the marriage license of his 30 seconds. He is the solid rock, the reliable chef, and the silent guardian who will build a fortress of love for his family, ensuring that while the world might see a tiger, his wife and kids will only ever see a gentle, Purring kitten. He is the runner-up only because number 1 has a dream of family so loud it drowns out the universe, but make no mistake, Lee No's wedding will be the most delicious event of the century. Number 1. Felix. We have arrived at the absolute peak. The gold medalist, the member who doesn't just want a marriage, he needs a soul connection, like he needs air to breathe. And he is the undisputed king of our romantic prediction list. The deep-voiced fairy from down under, Lee Felix. Why does Felix occupy the throne at number 1? Because out of every single member in Stray Kids, Felix is the one who views love with a capital L as the central purpose of his existence. While others prioritize their art, their solitude, or their careers, Felix prioritizes connection. He is a being made entirely of warmth, empathy, and an infinite capacity for affection that is simply too vast to remain contained within the idle lifestyle forever. To understand why his wedding in his 30 seconds is a statistical inevitability, we have to look at his Disney prince psychology. Felix operates on a frequency of pure, unadulterated emotion. He wears his heart on his sleeve, often tearing up at concerts, expressing profound gratitude, and telling fans he loves them with a sincerity that pierces the soul. A man who feels this deeply, who treasures emotional bonds this intensely, is naturally wired for the intimacy of marriage. He isn't built for a lonely life. He thrives when he is nurturing others. Look at his hobbies. Baking cookies and brownies at 3 a.m. not for himself, but to give to staff, members, and anyone he meets. This is a nesting instinct in its purest form. He finds joy in feeding people, in making them smile, in creating a warm atmosphere. In his 30 seconds, this will translate directly into being the ultimate husband and father. He has arguably the strongest dad energy in the group, but unlike the strict discipline of Lee No or the responsibility of Bang Chan, Felix's dad energy is soft, playful, and magical. He is the dad who will wear a princess costume because his daughter asked him to. He is the dad who will bake barely edible cupcakes with his toddler and laugh about the mess. He has explicitly mentioned in past fan calls and interviews a desire for a family, sometimes even hinting at wanting a large one. He comes from a loving family in Australia, and that wholesome, supportive upbringing is the blueprint he wants to replicate. He misses that warmth constantly while living in Korea, and marriage is the bridge that will lead him back to that sense of home. We also have to talk about his gamer side. It might seem contradictory, but it's actually a huge plus for his domestic potential. Felix loves staying in. He loves his PC setup. He isn't a party animal who needs to be at the club every weekend. He is a homebody. A future wife won't have to worry about where he is. He'll be in the gaming room, probably teaching their kid how to play Overwatch or League of Legends. This domestic compatibility is off the charts. Furthermore, Felix's visual and charming duality, the face of an angel with the voice of a demon, makes him the ultimate romantic lead. He is a hopeless romantic. You can tell by the songs he recommends, the movies he likes, and the way he talks about the concept of soulmates. He believes in destiny. He believes in the happy ever after. Unlike the pragmatists like Seungmin or IN, Felix believes that love can conquer all, and that belief will drive him to seek it out actively once his career stabilizes. He attracts love effortlessly. Everyone who meets him falls in love with him, staff, other idols, designers at Louis Vuitton. He has a magnetic aura of kindness that is irresistible. Finding a partner will never be the problem. His challenge will be finding someone who can protect his gentle heart. But once he finds her, oh, it is game over. Felix is the type to propose in the most extravagant, tear-jerking, romantic way possible, probably involving fireworks, a handwritten letter, and a custom-made ring. He will treat his wedding not as a contract, but as a coronation of his queen. His 30 seconds will be the decade where he finally gets to channel all that overflowing love into a dedicated vessel. He wants the noise of kids running around. He wants the chaotic Christmas mornings. He wants the shared blankets on the sofa. The sunshine needs a solar system to shine upon, and a family is that system. He is number 1 because his desire isn't just about social status or stability. It is a fundamental need of his spirit. He was born to be a father. He was born to be a husband. And watching Felix transition from the boy who cried on the survival show because he wanted to debut to a man crying at his wedding because he is just so happy will be the ultimate full-circle moment for Stay. He represents the hope that good guys finish first, and in the race for true love, Felix is already sprinting toward the finish line, waiting for his 30 seconds to unlock the greatest chapter of his life. Get the tissues ready, because when Felix gets married, the whole world is going to cry happy tears with him.